Dude, come over here. This is crazy. It's only been like 5 or 10 minutes. This is insane. Check this out. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the viral fertilizer that everyone's been talking about, Neighbor's Envy. Its name speaks for itself. We're going to test today to see if this stuff really makes my lawn the envy of the neighborhood, makes it as green as it says it does. Oh man, that's heavy. We're gonna see if it makes your grass as green as it says it will, if it does it as fast as it does. Some people have been seeing results within a couple of hours, even though it says 7 days. Number 3, we're gonna use a control area on one side of my yard so we can see a spot that doesn't include Neighbor's Envy versus a spot that does. So let's go. All right, one of the reasons I picked Neighbor's Envy is because number 1, I wanted to test out kind of the viral claims it has, that it gets grass super green within even a few hours. On the back, it says within 7 to 14 days, but most of the stuff that I've seen is they get it green within even, some people say 5 minutes. I think that's probably a joke, but within a couple hours, I wanna test that, see if that's true. Number 2, I just did a soil test on my lawn and I'm low in a couple of main nutrients. Number 1, nitrogen. I have Kentucky bluegrass. It's a known nitrogen hog. I'm pretty low in nitrogen. I'm also low in potassium and iron. And then number 3, I kind of want to add in some organic elements to my yard, help condition my soil because I've got some pretty bad soil here. I actually came across this on my own research, just looking for a fertilizer that had the nutrients that my soil and my grass needs, which is nitrogen. And if you go on the back, come take a look real quick. You can see it's got nitrogen, potassium, and iron are kind of those 3 main ones. And then it also supplements with sea kelp, humic acid, a couple things that are more organic. They're gonna help condition my soil. So, yeah, I'm stoked for 2 reasons. 1, I think it'll help fix some of my nutrient deficiencies. And then number 2, we get to test out and see how good this stuff actually works. All right, for this project, pretty easy. Only 3 tools you really need. Obviously, you need some Neighbor's Envy. There's a few different sizes you can get online. I got the biggest because I just did. We also have a pump sprayer. This is a 2-gallon pump sprayer. You can get some really expensive ones online. I like this because it's not that expensive. It still can hang from your shoulder to give you some support so you're not just carrying this thing the whole time. But it's also big enough you can get quite a bit of fertilizer in there and have a decent application if you have a decent sized yard. And then number 3, you just need a measuring cup to help measure out how much Neighbor's Envy to mix with water in your pump sprayer. Okay, let's now talk about how to apply Neighbor's Envy to your yard. So what's interesting about this is you're gonna go a little bit heavier on your first application. The first application is 18 ounces of Neighbor's Envy per 1 gallon of water, and that covers 1,000 square feet. But after the first application, you actually drop the amount of Neighbor's Envy that you use per application by 10 ounces. So after the first application, it's 8 ounces per 1 gallon of water for 1,000 square feet. The first thing you're gonna wanna do is on the back, it says to shake well before use. So we're gonna pick this thing up. Give it a good shake, that should be good. Whew. The second thing is on your pump sprayer, what I like to do is before I add the product to the sprayer, I like to add a little bit of water to the bottom just so the product doesn't adhere to the bottom in case you use multiple products in your sprayer. So we're just gonna pull out the middle and we're gonna add in, I usually put in about 1 liter, maybe 1 to 2 liters, just to get the bottom wet. Something like that. So we've got a little bit of water as a base. Now it's time to add the Neighbor's Envy. Like I said, it's 18 ounces per 1 gallon. So if you do the math on your phone, which is the easiest way to do it, it's 2 1/4 cups of Neighbor's Envy for 1 gallon of water. All right, for my yard, like I said, I'm gonna do 2 gallons. That's 36 ounces, which is 4 1/2 cups of Neighbor's Envy. So let's do it. That's 2. Okay, I got 4 1/2 cups in there. Now it's time to add the water to get it up to 2 gallons, and then we will pressurize it and go spray. All right, we got it. We're full of water. Let's put the lid on and then we'll pressurize it. Screw it on there and then we'll pump it up. All right, we're pressurized. And everything that I have that I'm using today, I'll put links in the description below so you can know what I use if you want to use it on your yard too. Okay, last thing, you probably saw my wheelbarrow here. I'm going to use this as a control on one section of my yard. We're going to put it down, face down, and we're going to spray all around it just to see if the stuff that wasn't sprayed looks different than the stuff that's sprayed after even a few hours. So let's go do that. Just put it right in the middle, right? This is it. And as I apply, because this does have iron in it, I like to do the perimeter first so I can be really careful. You can see right here, if you want to show, I've got cement that surrounds my whole yard right here. So I want to be careful not to ruin this cement that I put in. So I'm going to go around the perimeter and then I'll do straight lines, just one direction, and hit it on the way down. So here we go. All right, on to the backyard. Okay, we're done, we did it. We got the full application on the entire yard. So now we're gonna move the wheelbarrow. We're gonna come back and check and see if it worked. Dude, come over here. This is crazy. It's only been like 5 or 10 minutes since we applied. The neighbor's envy, check this out, man. This is already getting darker all around it. So I know it's only been like 5 or 10 minutes, but this is crazy to already see this. We'll come back and check it in 4 to 6 hours and see if it greens up even more. All right, it's been exactly 4 hours. I don't know if you can see it. My yard is looking greener than it was. One interesting thing though, is this is the first area that I applied to, and there are some kind of brown streaks kind of around the perimeter, probably where I ended up applying a couple times, and then also near my control spot where I did go right around the perimeter one extra time just to make sure that we could see the control. And it's looking like maybe I slightly over applied. Maybe some of the rust from the iron is creating kind of a brownish red tint. I'm sure once I water this in, it'll be fine, but just an interesting thing to note. All right, guys, it's been exactly 1 week since we put the neighbor's envy down back here. Trying to show it about the same time in the morning. Today it's a little bit overcast, which is nice for at least seeing the true color of the grass. But yeah, I mean, it is definitely greener. It's kind of like a deeper green, but also my yard has been pretty starved for nitrogen and potassium and iron. So I think it's going to take a few treatments. I'm going to, do the follow-up treatments that it talks about 2 weeks after with the 8 ounces of Neighbor's Envy. But one of the other things to note with the Neighbor's Envy, at least with my yard, man, I put this stuff on and I mowed like 3 days later. So what's kind of interesting is this spot where we didn't put it, you can see it right here. It's not as clean cut as it was before, but it almost looks like it's just not growing, when that's exactly what's happening. Like all the grass around it is growing really fast because of that nitrogen boost, but right there in the middle is not growing. So I thought that was interesting. Okay, it's officially been 2 weeks since I applied the Neighbor's Envy. You can see how green my grass is. It's looking really good. We're still though gonna do that second application and only use the 8 ounces this time and just see if it greens up even more, just to give you the full test. But yeah, look at that. Okay, I applied my second application of the Neighbor's Envy, and I don't know if it's greener after the second application, but it's definitely as green as it got in the first application. But yeah, the yard does look super healthy. Then you can see over here, here's my control area. It doesn't look bad in the middle there, but it definitely doesn't look nearly as good as the dark green grass around it. So it's pretty cool. You can see there's a pretty noticeable difference between the two. So yeah, if you want to get your grass from just okay to looking really good, I think this stuff does it. All right, so my final thoughts on Neighbor's Envy. If you're lacking in nitrogen and potassium like I was, and iron, this stuff seemed to do the trick. Now, the difference is I did do a soil test on my lawn. I knew what nutrients that I was lacking in my soil and in my lawn, so the Neighbor's Envy was an obvious choice for me because of what it had in there. If you don't know what your soil needs, I think the Neighbor's Envy probably could still be a really good fertilizer, a good application for your yard, but I think it's probably even better if you do know what your soil needs and it is those things, then yes, it does look like the Neighbor's Envy. Checks off all those boxes, and yeah, like I said, my grass is looking fantastic. If you like that video, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow our channel so that you can be notified every time we put out new content like this. And like I said, if you have not done a soil test, watch this video right here where I go over from start to finish how to do an at-home soil test. It's super easy, really inexpensive, and again, it'll give you some insight into what fertilizers that your grass needs, and I'll see you over there.